Hello. It's so exciting to finally be doing this here. So I hope and I believe that we get to interact often on this platform. So if you are yet to subscribe, please do. Thank you very much. So let's begin with introduction. I'm Chiamaka Gracie Homa Madroma, and I'm a professional experience certified event planner, coordinator, manager, consultant, however we wish to consider it. I'm also a skilled baker, cakes, pastries. I've been doing these for about 7 to 8 years now, or even more. And I'm a minister of the gospel. I hold these meetings that we call telema. It means the will of God. It's the Greek for the will of God. What do we do in the meeting? We soak, we worship God, we fellowship with God. It's also some sort of prophetic meeting. So we just create that environment and ambience for people to fellowship with God, to hear God, to enjoy God's presence and have experiences and encounters with God. Okay, I love God so much. Oh, I'm in love with God. Forgive me, but I love God so much. I love the Lord so much. It's not easy for me to, just tell somebody, as much as no matter how much I love a person, it's not easy for me to just say it. I mean, we grew up in the old school style. But when it comes to God, I can't help it. I love him so much. I hope you can say that too. I remember a meeting that we had and we were singing this song, Jesus, you love me too much. Oh, the singer kept singing it on and on and on. I know people were just enjoying the presence of God. And somehow it just came to my spirit and my mind. And I started singing my own way. Jesus, I love you too much. Oh, too much. Oh, too much. Oh, excess love. Right? That's just how much I love the Lord. That I love the Lord does not mean that some days I don't fall short or but those days sort of I hear something that instead of running away from God, we should draw closer to Him. So those are even the times I draw closer to Him because Bible scripture says we should come boldly to the throne of grace and throne of mercy where we can obtain, we obtain grace, we obtain help in time of need. So in the time where you feel that you've maybe fallen short, oh God, am I worthy of your love? If times you feel that way, I want to assure you that he wants you to come to him. He said, draw near to me and I will draw near to you. So that's just something so beautiful about loving God, about God. Of course, it doesn't give us the license to sin. Because scripture say that shall we continue to sin that grace may abound? No, God forbid. It doesn't give us the license to sin. Rather, it gives us the excitement to just want to worship God with our life and with our being. So now I want to talk about purpose. We talk about when we talk about purpose, are you walking in purpose? Are you living in purpose? As I ask the question now, or as I say this now, I'm thinking about it that as young as I am, how do I even know that I'm living in purpose? How do I know that I'm working in purpose? How do I know that I'm doing purpose as young as I is it not when I'm 60 or 50 or even 70 that I can look back and say, oh, I lived a life of purpose. Oh, I've been living a life of purpose. How do I evaluate if I'm living a life of purpose or not? So you just think about, but what if you don't even live up to 50? What if you don't live up to 60? What if you don't live up to 70? Of course, say with long life will satisfy us, but these are just ponderings. You just ask yourself, how do I know that I'm living a life of purpose? So first of all, I would say that a life of purpose starts with God. Start with God, the creator. He created us. We are his creation. It starts with God. So any life being lived outside of God is obviously not a life of purpose. Any life being lived outside God, because God, the truth is, we don't manufacture our purpose. We don't think about it. Oh, this is what, and then say, oh, decide that this is what our purpose will be. Our purpose is not even our ambition. Our purpose is not even, sometimes they tell you to find your purpose, find out what you like, what you love, what you're passionate about. That might not even be our purpose. Our purpose is found inside of God. And that means, God, it's not even, I want to say something now, but your purpose is not even about you. I don't know, I've been saying this thing since last year, since the year before. Your purpose is not about you. Your purpose is about God. It's like having a portrait that maybe broken pieces and you're putting them together. So every one of us have something that God has appointed or ordained for us, and there is to form a whole picture. There's a picture that God has in mind. So when you that's what I'm saying, that your purpose starts with God. Before you were born, there was a purpose for you. Before before you were thought of before your parents thought of bringing you into the world, because when God was speaking to Jeremiah, and he said that, and before you even in your mother's womb, I knew you. He had an assignment for him even before he was born. So now, how do we now discover our purpose? It starts with living for God. That's where it starts from. So we're going to I want to pause here and just allow us to ponder. We would continue in our next series and episode, but just note this, that your purpose begins with God. Thank you very much. See you in the next series.